So this is the IGT Camp Kitchen Starter Set, and this is Snow Peak's bundle that gives you a lot of useful inserts in a 4-unit IGT frame to pretty much get you started with the whole system for having a really nice camp kitchen out there. So if you're not familiar with what an IGT is, it's Snow Peak's iron grill table, and essentially it's a frame where you can choose inserts to customize your own camp kitchen. So there's different types of burners, there's grills, there's all different types of things that you can insert in here for storage and table surfaces. There's even spots where you can extend out these tables and create even more space. We'll get into all that later in this video. But as for this starter set, you essentially get a flat burner stove, 2 of the half-unit stainless boxes, a full-size cutting board, and the waterproof unit Gear Bag 220, aka the dish bin. So the flat burner has been working out great all summer. I actually haven't even taken out my Baja burner since I got this one. And you know, it's a really nice stove. I haven't had any issues with it, and it's super easy to clean. This grate just comes right off and you can wipe things down as needed. I also really like having the controls right here as well. So it's super easy to adjust things. You have an auto ignite feature, of course, right there, and your fuel just nests right in the bottom here. And this whole thing just slots really nicely right into the IGT frame. And yeah, it's just been a really good stove overall. It also comes with some extra feet in the carry sleeve bag where you can kind of throw it down on top of a table if you don't want to use it within your IGT frame. So it's nice that they give you that option as well if you want to use it outside of your IGT system. So the stainless half boxes are really nice because they give you a flat tabletop surface, so you get extra space right here. But underneath you have some nice hidden storage, and these don't hold a ton, but they'll hold things like your cooking utensils. Just have a little bit of paper towels left in here. Just different eating utensils, stuff like that. I got my different spoons and whatnot. And in my other one, I have all of my coffee gear. So this can hold, one of my mugs. I have a little single burner backpacking stove, my beans, and my coffee grinder, of course. And so yeah, these are really nice to hide a lot of the little things that you're going to be using around this camp kitchen setup. And I will say transporting these though could be a slight issue because, this lid, while it does fit really nicely on it in the frame, in the back of your car, if you hit a bump or something like that, I imagine this lid can fall off if it's not nestled in a really nice spot in the back of your vehicle. So I will say transporting these is a lot easier if you're bringing them inside like a stacking shelf, for instance. That's how I always bring mine. So I'll put this in there, stove goes on top, I have a carry bag for the stove. You can fit extra things like your cutting board or just extra wash bins, whatever, basically. There's extra room inside these little stacking shelves. But my point is, you're gonna wanna figure out a way to transport all these little things. And while you don't have to have extra, bins and stuff like that to put these things in, I just want you to keep in mind that this lid isn't really secured on there. So it could definitely fall off, and having all your utensils all over the back of your trunk is not going to be an ideal experience. So moving on to the cutting board, this is the large size of Snow Peak's cutting board sets. I also own the small size, and I will say I do like that this takes up an entire unit of space. Now keep in mind, 1 unit is one of the 4 units. This, for instance, is a half unit. But yeah, I've really enjoyed the larger size. You also end up getting a larger knife with the large size cutting board, and the whole thing still folds in half, and the knife nests perfectly within the cutting board, just like on the smaller one. So it's a really nice cutting board set. So moving on to the last insert, this is the waterproof unit Gear Bag 220, and this is essentially where we wash all of our dishes, and we combine that with the Dometic jug and faucet system. And over the years, I've used a variety of different dishwashing methods, and this happens to be one of the easiest ways that I've found to wash dishes while out camping. Now, I will say it's not perfect by any means, and emptying this bucket when it's full of soapy dishwater isn't the easiest task because you have to pop it out of the frame and be really careful so you don't spill the water all over the place. I really wish that Snow Peak would eventually come up with an insert that fits this thing perfectly and has some handles, and you can just take out that insert to empty it. It would make things so much easier than having to take this whole thing out of the frame. But I've been just using my pack bucket, which is my very first, camp kitchen sink. And while it doesn't fit perfectly, It does a good job of keeping most of the water, out of here. Occasionally some will drip down from the faucet down underneath, but it does the job for the most part and makes emptying this thing a lot easier for me. So the starter set comes with the standing height legs, and this creates for just a really comfortable counter height, just like at home basically. And you also have adjustments on these legs for fine tuning it as well. So like while you're out there camping, chances are the ground is not going to be perfectly level, and you're going to want to dial these things in to make sure you're compensating for that to create a nice level surface. So I really like that all of the IGT legs have that function on them. And there are several different heights that you can choose from as well. So down the line, if you decide you want to go for a more sitting height or even like a low height, you have options down the line. And there's even third parties now that have sizes in between if you want to really fine tune it to the height of your chair. So options are pretty much endless for this frame. Another thing to point out about the IGT frame is you have these slots along the edges right here. And you also have these little notches right here at the edge of the frame, and this is where you can add on even more table space. So yeah, you have lots of options for adding on different accessories and different table spaces to extend this thing out, or you can just keep it simple just like this. And for some people, this might be good enough. This might be everything that you need, for your camp kitchen out there to have a comfortable time. Or if you're looking to go, with groups or families and you need that extra table space and you want extra prep space, you can always add to this thing to custom curate it to whatever camp kitchen you're trying to build out. So Snow Peak does a really good job with simplifying the whole design of this thing, and setting this thing up is incredibly simple. You essentially just screw the legs right into the frame, and after that's done, all the inserts just go right into place and nest perfectly within the frame to fill it up. So yeah, that's pretty much it for setting this thing up. I mean, there's not a lot to it. It's an extremely simple table system, but like I said, you can add to this and extend on even more tables and extra sliding inserts. You can add the box hangers to this thing. I mean, it is pretty much endless for the IGT ecosystem of components. Or you could just keep it just like this and have a very basic but functional camp kitchen for your setups out there. And I think that's the beauty of the IGT system overall. So yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for, I guess, my review of the IGT Camp Kitchen Starter Set. And while Snow Peak did send me this IGT Camp Kitchen Starter Set to try out, I have been using my own 3-unit IGT system for several years now. And, I've been really happy with using this Camp Kitchen setup overall. And just going with the 4-unit adds that extra little bit of space. And I do appreciate having that in a lot of different situations out there. So yeah, what do you all think of the Camp Kitchen Starter Set? Do you think this is the best way to get into an IGT system? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take care.